Hi and good evening. Welcome to Prime Time with Sylvia. And tonight's going to be a very exciting night. But because of that, all right, we'd like to tell you that Prime Time with Sylvia, the interview series, is proudly brought to you by Classy Me. Now, Classy Me is all about be confident, be classy, be you. And of course, you can see on the screen over there. If you love to access Classy Me, all you need to do is to go to their FB handle, which is at classyme.co. Now, Classy Me is a homegrown fashion brand in Singapore that is started by four best friends forever. Now, Classy Me made her first debut in April 2019, and all four best friends forever share the same vision and passion in envisioning a brand that will express every individual's vibrant traits and voice. Every single piece is, of course, uniquely designed by each one of them. Now, tonight in the studio, we have someone really very exciting. Now, she was overwhelmed with guilt when three of her Jack Russell's dogs died in 2011 in the span of 6 months after her family was plagued with financial difficulties. Now, Ms Melodee Tan, founder of Hope for Animals, did not allow the sadness to consume her. In fact, she started a non-profit community called Hope for Animals in early 2012 in honor of her three dogs. Now, today, Hope for Animals are working with groups such as Causes for Animals, Exclusively Mongrels, Love Kuching Project, and Friends of Seven. Now, they hold online adoption drives via live stream on Facebook, and they have helped countless strays from animal shelters, especially so during the Singapore circuit breaker period. Now, without much further ado, I'm going to bring out Ms. Melodee Tan right on here on the screen with us. And of course, she's a founder of Hope for Animals. And here we go. Hello, Melodee. How are you?
Hi, Sylvia. Thank you so much for having me on board. It's great. I think this period is a very interesting period for all of us to have gone through. I mean, with the COVID-19, the pandemic, and then the next thing we have right now is the GE coming up. So it's, a lot of things going on at the same time.
Yes, and earlier on while we are in the studio, while we are talking to Melodee, we're saying that you guys are very blessed because your online adoption drives comes to a stop just at the right time, just before GE started or the rally started, right?
Yes, so true. It's like we plan already we plan to start in April. And then after that, we're like, okay, once we keep going, then we realize that, okay, guys, we really need to set a date so that we can evaluate how this entire project is. Because this is the first time that we actually started. It's the first time that we started. It's the first time that any kind of project such as this started. So we thought that, okay, let's set a deadline. And then we all thought that, okay, let's make the end of June the last session. And let's take a break during July, like that 1 month, let's evaluate everything and then see how it goes. And just coincidental, GE just happened to come at the same time. So it's like, oh, okay, we don't have to worry so much.
Oh, yeah, you're so right. And of course, to all my viewers out there, now, if you have anything that you would love to ask Melodee Tan, all you need to do is to comment on Primetime with Sylvia. Now, do me a favor, comment only on Primetime with Sylvia because on my platform, I can only see comments that are coming in through Primetime with Sylvia. All right. So you can see a ticker that's right below over there. There you are. All you need to do is to follow, yes, and comment on Primetime with Sylvia. Very fast, we already have our first comment over here. I'm going to show it to you, Melodee. We have Terry Chen in the house. Terry Chen say, hi, Mel. Long time no see.
Oh, yeah, it's a really long time, man. He and I used to work at the same company before.
Oh, really? Which company? Can we review?
Yeah. We used to work at Zhang Photography together. And I was the editor there. And then that's how I got to know Terry, because Terry was the photographer as well.
Yes. Terry is a very, very good photographer. Not only I work with him countless time, and you know what? Terry is also my wedding photographer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Such a small world.
Yes. His photography skill is awesome. Okay,
Yes.
we also have CK Tom in the house saying good evening to you, Sylvia and Mel.
Hi,
Hi.
TJ.
I realize a lot of people like to call you Mel.
I think it's quite normal, but I prefer when people call me Mel, because the thing is that majority of the time people kind of spell my name a bit wrong anyway. So
Yeah.
it is appreciative when people call me Mel. It's also quite a casual term, you know. It kind of like make us friends.
Yes, 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 yes. Because your melody is spelled very differently. It's spelled as Melodee. I think a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people will spell it as the melody, that melody, Melody,
TY.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Funny stories because of my dad. Not because I changed my name. A lot of people had this suspicion that I changed it on my own, but it's my dad who changed it because he has this superstition that DY means die is not good for her. So and that's
I
why there's
see.
DE in the end.
Ah, okay. I think Terry show us some love over there, some heart-shaped love over there. Thank you, Terry. Stay on, okay? There you are. All right, now to start off, right? I actually have a very good question that I would like to ask you.
Mhm.
It's been 8 years since you started Hope for Animals, and we'll love to know. Can you share with us, like, why did you start Hope for Animals?
Hmm. That is a very, although this question has been asked before, it's still kind of hard
Sad.
to talk about, but I mean, it is good to talk about it. So Hope for Animals started as a way for me to cope with my grief. So what
Mm,
happened is that 8 years ago, my family, we went through a financial crisis, and during
mm,
our financial crisis, we had to put our dogs in a place for a while. And during that time,
mm,
we realized that my oldest Jack Russell had cancer. She had
mm,
cancer plus a possible tumor, and there were a lot of complications. And she was already very old. She was past 10 years old, and the vet kind of told us that it's not advisable to put her through so many surgeries at her age. And we, because of that, apart from the fact that we know that it will cause a bomb, we didn't take that into consideration. Although we were going through financial crisis, our main objective was to make sure that if possible our pet have to get well. But
mm,
at the end of the day, our vet advised us to let her go, and we did get a second opinion, and we ended up putting her down because of of her things that she went through.
mm,
Then I still had my other two Jack Russells, and the place that we actually put them at, they they actually contracted parvovirus. Parvovirus
Oh,
is one
okay.
of the four deadliest viruses that a pet can get. Is both dogs and cats can get it. It is when you do not vaccinate your pet.
And it's
So
because you put it at the place over there to
yes,
house the dog for you. That's why you
yeah.
got the virus. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
and the thing is that it's transmittable, but you don't know until it actually happen. So sometimes you put your pets at kennel places, not necessarily it's clean. I mean, it's the same as for humans. We go to a playground, it's not necessarily clean. So with that, both of them contracted parvo, and they had to be hospitalized. I
Mm,
had a very nice vet that knew of our financial situation and told us that, hey, okay, I know what you guys are going through. Why not you
mm,
go to this place instead? Because this place, they do the same amount of work at a much cheaper price, and they are very, very understandable with financial situations. So we went to another vet, and after that, they were there for I think about 2 weeks, and we did tell the vet that we had trouble paying for everything, and the vet actually managed to work out an installment kind of thing. And
mm,
I realized that even with the installment, it's not going to help my family any more than the current thing, because we are really going through financial crisis, right? I mean, it's bad enough that we have debts to pay, and that we don't really have any income to come in. So I posted at that point of time, Facebook was still relatively new, so I posted it up and I shared the story. I shared the vet, and then where people can call and check to make sure my story is legitimate.
mm,
And it was an amazing period because I met really, really kind people there. There
mm-hmm.
was this random stranger. Okay, a bit touching.
Oh.
There's this random stranger. I totally do not know her, and she actually donated a very, very big sum. She told me, say that, okay, I do not need to see the vet papers or the receipts. Don't worry about it. Let me know your account number. I'll transfer it to you tonight. I'll walk out to the ATM and transfer you immediately. And the amount she donate is not a small amount. It's not like $10, $15. It was
Mm,
in the hundreds, and it was very touching for somebody who do not know me. to reach out to me and, kind of give that amount, and without even checking whether it was a legitimate story or not. So that was actually very touching. It made me realize that there are kind people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So after they recovered, they actually did recover. I think the area that they were at, they contracted a second virus because their
Okay.
immune system was down. So when
Mm.
they contracted a second virus, it was called distemper, and
Mm.
distemper is even worse because powerful. There is at least some kind of treatment. There's no cure, but there's a
Mm.
treatment. Distemper, there's no real treatment, no cure at all. And distemper, how it works is something like our human Parkinson. Once it hits your nerve, you kind of shake non-stop, and if it hits to that extent, you obviously cannot move, you can't control your body anymore. You basically just shake all the time. So
Mm.
they both of them went through that, and it was painful because I was there both times when they eventually passed away.
Okay.
um, Both one, my youngest one passed away when I felt something wrong that one night, and I didn't want to
Mm.
sleep, but it was already 6 a.m. and I had school at 9. So
Mm-hmm.
my brother was like, just take a 1 hour nap. You have
Mm.
school the next day.
Mm.
And not more than 15 minutes, my brother woke me up saying that she passed away beside me.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Then my middle dog, she passed away after, I think, after it was slightly coming to Chinese New Year. uh,
Mm-hmm.
she passed away when I was still awake at night as well. So, it,
Mm.
this type of situation, it stays with you for a long time. So,
Yes.
uh, during this time, because of my dog situation, I couldn't meet up with my partner.
Mm-hmm.
My partner who's Dominic, I couldn't meet up with him because he has a dog, and I don't want a possible situation where the virus of my dog get passed to him, and that's gonna create another snowball effect. So I didn't get that support because of that. Like, I couldn't get the physical kind of, like, he's beside me, but he was always there every day to talk to me. So
Mm.
during this entire episode, it was very tough, and I was just trying to figure out a way to cope with the situation.
Mm.
And I actually cannot remember who was it that told me, like, why don't you just try to help out with the society? But I remember going down to my friend's cafe at Bugis.
Mm.
I met this guy. I met these few people, but two guys specifically were there that I met, and they kind of got me more involved in the pet industry. And yeah, that's I realized that I wasn't moving on, so I decided to, like, okay, I was not a good dog owner to my three pets. I was not the best that I could be. So I decided to start something in memory of them. That's why I started Hope for Animals. Yeah.
I see. That is really very heartbreaking to hear that. To have three dogs that pass on, and I understand that you feel very guilty about it because you felt that it's because you didn't vaccinate your dog, and
Yeah. And
that's
financially,
why.
I wasn't capable to look after them the best that they can be looked after. Yeah.
But I guess it's really good in a sense whereby you didn't let your sadness consume you, and you actually turn it into something whereby you want to help out more strays and help out more animals out there, and not just dogs alone. Melody also help out with cats and many others also. So let's take a look at this video. I would suggest to all my viewers out there, please stand by your tissue. All right, why would I say that? Because when I first saw the video again, my tears were running down my face, and let's take a look at this video. You understand what kind of hardship Melody have gone through to be what she is today. That's why she set up Hope for Animals. Let's check it out.
Both my dogs passed away when I was awake, and I was the only one that found them when they were passing away. So it was quite a traumatizing event. I told my brother, say that I didn't want to sleep because I felt something was wrong. My brother told me, say, why not just put her beside you? You should be fine. So for 1 minute, I just closed my eyes. The next minute, I hear mom my mom shouting, getting me to wake up because my dog just passed away beside me. Within 1 minute that I closed my eyes. Then my second dog passed away was also the same. My whole family was asleep. I stayed up. I heard her crying. Got up, looked at her, and she just passed that timing. During that time, right, back in 2011 to 2012, my mom got caught in an accident. So during that time, we accumulated quite a lot of debts over hospital bills, and we went into a financial issue, and it got worse lah. So I had 2 Jack Russells initially. I adopted one later on. The food spending is not cheap lah. Then plus grooming, so a lot of financial burdens there. And we actually had to rent out our house. It was quite a tough timing because when we were having a financial issue, my family and I didn't get along. We argued constantly. Money is really the root of all evil in this scenario. And then my dogs were suffering. So literally every night, I tried to stay up until one of my parents wake up so that I will sleep, then at least there's someone look after them. At that time, I was still schooling at poly. Because of so much issue, right, my friends couldn't understand why I needed the distance. And because of that, I kind of was outcast. So I had no friends when I went poly. I couldn't visit my boyfriend's house because of my dog. My dog virus were airborne, and my boyfriend had a dog as well. I felt like I was the reason behind their death because my first dog we didn't sterilize her, so she had womb cancer, and apart from other cancers due to old age, we had to put her down. So we should have sterilized her at that point. And my second and third dog was because we didn't vaccinate them. I felt like it was due to my ignorance that led them to their death. So it was in honor of 3 of them. That's why Hope for Animals was created.
There you are. We have heard about your sad story over there, Melodee, but I'm very, very proud of you, I must say that, because today Melodee has helped thousands and thousands of strays, I must say. So you should give yourself a pat on your shoulder. Well done, Melodee. You have turned your sadness into something that, you help the society so much. Well done. Really, really. And of course, all my viewers out there, if you have anything like words of encouragement that I would love to say to Melodee, please do not hesitate to comment immediately. Just as I was saying, someone already came in. All right. CK Tom actually asked, what is your 2 dogs' name? And they now rest in peace in the memories of them. So Mr. Tom is trying to say this. What's the 2 name of your dog?
Okay, my first oldest dog was Lucky. It was named by my sister and me. Then my second dog was Dobby, named after Harry Potter, the elf.
Okay.
And my last dog was Bambi. She was named after. She was named Bambi because of the way of her legs, that she was very long and lengthy.
Okay, the one that's called Bambi, yeah. All right, we have Jimmy Wong in the house. Hi, Jimmy. Thank you so
Hi,
much for
Jimmy.
supporting me again. Every night, Jimmy, without fail. Judy also, thank you, Judy. And also together with CK Tom, every night they'll be supporting me. Thank you so much. All right, now.
Supporting friends.
Yeah, very supportive, very, very good. And okay, there's another thing. We understand that Hope for Animals is a non-profit community, and you are not an animal welfare group. In fact, you are someone that helps out the animal welfare group. Am I right to say that?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So can we ask, what does Hope for Animals do, and how do you support animal welfare groups?
Okay, so initially Hope for Animals we created because I wanted to fundraise back for the people that have been rescuing animals. I mean, at that point of time, obviously I was still, although my 3 dogs passed away, we were still going through financial crisis, and during that time, the only way that I could cope is to actually dive myself into this. And how I did that was, I was like, okay, since I didn't have the money, I'm very sure that other people also would not have the money, especially animal welfare groups. They would not have the amount of money that's needed. I really know that after 3 dogs, it costs thousands of dollars to look after them, especially if they go through something serious. So I wanted to do something back for them, and that's why I decided to try to fundraise in the beginning. I did a little bit of rehoming, but I realized rehoming is not for me, mainly because when you rescue and rehome, you manage both humans and the pet themselves, and it can be emotionally challenging. And as you can see, even when I'm talking about it, although it's happened like 8 years ago, I still get emotional about it. So I realized that I'm not up for it emotionally. So that's why I couldn't do rehoming. And so yeah, that's where I realized that, okay, and furthermore, we don't need another animal welfare group. We need to help the animal welfare groups, because it's like starting so many small little things. When you are not helping the situation, one animal welfare group can flourish much more if it's given the right support. So I was like, why isn't there any platform to actually help these animal welfare groups? And that's why I decided, like, okay, you know what, Whole for Animals is going to be about helping people instead. We are gonna help the animal welfare groups. We are gonna stay out of politics, because anything to do with humans, there will always be politics. So let's just set this straight. Whole for Animals will be there to help you guys to market. We'll be there to help you to push out adoption drive. We'll be there to also help you to collaborate with companies, and we'll also be there to work hand in hand with you to help you with any solutions that you have come up to cope with the situation. So that's why Hope for Animals has always been a very strong standpoint that we will help, and we will not interfere with rehoming processes, because you guys are the experts. We shouldn't be interfering with that. What we can do is use the skills that we have to support you. So me being a graphic designer, I can use my skills to help create out beautiful posters when there's events. My partner Dominic has been in the events industry. He can help with planning the events. I have another volunteer that does marketing, another one that does banking. So using all our different skill sets, why not use the fact that we have these skills to actually help the shelters? So it is rewarding to actually go down to the shelter to clean up, to walk the dogs, etc. But if you have the skills, make use of your skills for the good. So that's why, Hope for Animals, how we help is that we come up with all these solutions, come up with all these things to go about pushing to help the the animal welfare groups.
I see. And I understand that you also work with closely with animals welfare groups, like, for example, causes for animals, even exclusively mongrels, or even Love Coaching Project and
Yeah.
Seven Friends of Seven, right? These are
Yeah.
people that you will mostly work together with. And so far, you're working closely with which one the most? Causes for animals?
Uh, it's a bit hard to say which I work closely with, because I kind of gotten to know all of them as friends now. But Causes for Animals was one of the first few shelters that I worked with. Love Kuching came later on, because I'm more of a dog person, so I know dogs quite well. But when it comes to cats, it's something that is not of my area of expertise. So, but I actually learned a lot from Love Coaching, because I'm quite close to a few of them in there, and they have taught me and shared with me a lot of things about cats, and we've gotten closer over the years. That's why we try to shout out more for the cat industry, because I realized that in the beginning of Hope for Animals, we focus a lot on dogs. So we wanted to try to balance it out. I think it's unfair to only be helpful to one species. We should be helpful to all species. So, but exclusively mongrels, the reason why I have a softer spot for them is because earlier on, when I told you we started Hope for Animals, there was these two guys that I've met. And the two guys that I've met inspired me and got me a little bit more involved in the pet industry. They kind of like, they were very blunt to me, to be fair. They kind of do not mince their words, but they shared a lot of truth to what they talked to me about. So
Okay.
one of them is in exclusively mongrels, and that's why I have a spot for them there, because they have been very I've known them since the beginning of Hope for Animals. So it's a little bit of a softer spot. But I'm very close to causes for Friends of Seven. Friends of Seven has also really become a friend. I think some of the other shelters that I'm close with is also Uncle Ko K9. They are amazing people in there. We also have we recently gotten closer with March Rescue, that rescue both dogs and cats. So
Okay.
I won't say that I work with one specifically, one more than the other, because we don't show biasness, we don't get into politics. And our main goal is, at the end of the day, to help the people that have been helping the pet industry.
Yeah. That's very, very good. And we have someone online over here. Cassandra, as you say, yo, Sylvia. Thank you, Cassandra. Say hi to Melody too.
Hi,
There you
Cassandra.
are. Okay, and I have some photos to show our viewers also. Let's check out this one. This is actually a Project Adopt Live that is done concurrently together with exclusively mongrels and, of course, the independent rescuers. So, you like to share with us a little bit more about this?
Okay, so exclusively mongrels, earlier on I mentioned, they are one that we work with some quite closely, is partially because they have a lot of dogs going in and out pretty fast. They bail out dogs from AVS, and their rehoming process is very, very active. So we work a lot with them because their dogs really go in and out pretty fast. And we also work with individual rescuers because we understand that being an individual rescuer is also hard. So what an individual rescuer means is that they are not tied to any specific group. They rescue when they can, and majority of the time they come out the money from their own pocket. So we understand that it is difficult for them. So what we do is that we work with them to bring them into events, or like earlier on you showed during the episode itself, we ask them to, hey, come on, just show your pet up for adoption. We see whether we can try to garner some adoption inquiries. And in that one poster that you just showed, the white grayish cat that is the white grayish cat with the yellow eyes, the very big eyes, is actually rescued by one of our Project Adopt Live team members, Jolene. She actually rescued the kitten, rehab the kitten, did evaluation, and then push it up for adoption. Yeah.
That is so cute. And you do it with cats also. Is Purely Adoptions also a animal shelter?
Yes, actually, Purely Adoption does both cats and dogs. So we work with them pretty closely as well, because their dogs also move pretty fast. We realize that their cats for us it's a little bit harder to try to help, but that doesn't stop us from pushing it as well. Purely Adoption is run by a really, really passionate team. They're really awesome.
That's good. That's good. They're passionate about cats, right? That's why you're doing a cat's adoption with Purely Adoptions, right?
We did both dogs and cats with them. But we've been trying to help them push more on the cats, I think, because the cats, probably there might be too many cats that were up for adoption. Yeah.
I see. And when COVID-19 hits our shore this year, right? We understand that several animal shelters are finding it harder and harder to get their pets being adopted, since because there's cancellation of in-person adoption drives. And on top of it, something that really upsets me is that the shelters are also running out of space, right?
Yes.
So I would just like to know, how did Hope for Animals help during the Singapore Circuit Breakers period?
Okay, so usually how we always help is through events, collaborations with companies, and even collaborations with schools. So during this period, we realized that, okay, obviously there's not going to be events, there's not going to be any adoption drives, and we all know that the shelters are struggling. So me and Dominic have had a plan to actually do a live streaming before, but we've not pushed it up, partially because we don't have that skills. Again, just to reiterate, I'm a graphic designer. Dom is a events planner. We have nothing to do with live streaming, so we don't know how it actually works. So it's like, okay, since this period, obviously it's time to actually take the pin idea that we used to have and really put it into actions. Because the thing is that we always have a lot of ideas, but you need to choose the right moment and time to actually do it, right? So that's why I was like, okay, you know what? That's just that one day I was like talking to Dom, and then while Dom was working, I was like, okay, we really need to do something. So I was like, okay, and then you know what? Since I'm inside this Facebook group, let me just post up an idea and see whether there's anyone that is keen to help out, Because for Hope for Animals, how it works is that every time we come out a new campaign, we usually post out, and then we get people to come about to do it together. Because again, this is all voluntary. So when people want, when we got an idea, we do need a team. So I was like, okay, let's just post this up and see how it goes. And then the next thing I know, there were over like 50 comments on it of people
And
saying that,
everybody is very supportive of it.
yeah, and you know what's the amazing thing is that because when I was reading the group about the all the professionals that were affected by the COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
you can tell that the mood of the group was relatively low. I
Mm.
think the guy also, the admin himself actually did a poll to ask how people are feeling at this point of time. And majority of the people just felt like a sense, a loss of purpose, or they just
Mm.
feel a bit down, depressed. So it's like, maybe helping someone else, doing a little bit, a little good thing may actually help you feel better, because
Mm.
I would know, because I was in my down place, and the only way for me to pick myself up is to do something good. So when I posted that, we kind of gathered the people together, and we worked on this idea, and I'm so incredibly thankful for the people that actually came on board for this project Adopt Life, which is the live streaming
Mm.
thing that we're doing. It was really something that you don't see often, because it shows the kinder side of humans. I mean,
Yes.
sometimes you kind of like lost your belief in humans from being kind because of,
Yes, yes, I
yeah,
totally agree with you.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's why even Straits Time, I was showing this picture earlier on to our viewers. Even Straits Time actually did up an article on you. This actually Hope for Animals founder Melodee Tan, and of course the one beside you is actually your teammate, come your husband, right? Which is
yes,
Dominic there. Yeah, so they started this adoption drives online during the COVID-19 period. So that's where because there's a drop in adoptions and donations also. That's why they came up with this idea, which is what Melodee have said earlier on. And not only that, Melodee, I realized that you're getting more and more support, even from very famous talent. Like, for example, we have Inch Chua, we have Art over there, and also we have Paul Foster, who is also coming online together with you for the project Adopt Life. And on top of it, you also have another very successful people, which like Vanessa van der Straten, and of course also Teresa
Teresa
Go
Goh.
also joined
Yeah.
you. Yes, and the idea came from you. You are the one who started it off. You're the pioneer, right? I must say, for this online adoption drives.
I won't say that I'm the pioneer. Okay, how I
You're too
feel.
humble.
No, you see, it works this way. You can have an idea, but the only way for it to succeed is if you have people there to help you push this up. So the idea may have derived from me, but it's because of the team that we managed to pull together to make this happen. If maybe I was alone, right, I would not be able to do this type of actions, because why? One person will not be able to achieve so much. So I would say that more of like, ideas like this, it also came from the teammates. Initially I didn't think about celebrities. I think it was the team that like, hey, why not we bring this on? They also adopted it, and it was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Like, let's do it. And then sometimes it takes one idea, and then it can become better when you have a team together. So I would
To
say that,
support you, yeah.
yeah, I would say that it's more of like it was a collaborative effort. And the irony about what you just mentioned about the five personalities that came on board. Daniel Bowie also came on board. Was that Teresa Go was my brother's classmate, and
Ah,
I found out that she adopts cats. So I was like, hey, you adopt cat, like, wouldn't this be perfect? And then after
yes.
the next thing was that when one of the volunteers mentioned Paul Foster, I was like, you mean he adopts? I was like, I met him when I was in school as a school
Mm,
project. So I didn't, at
mm.
the point of time, we didn't talk about personal stuff. So when someone told me, I was like, hey, do you know that Paul actually fosters and adopts? And I was like, whoa, okay, let's do this, man. That's like, I think it
Okay,
would really create a chain reaction if people were to see these icons actually still adopt and foster. If with their busy,
exactly.
hectic lifestyle, right, how are they still able to, look after a pet? So if it's possible for them, why isn't it possible for you?
Yes, 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 and not only that, this online adoption drive, it has obtained so much publicity and so many people supporting you. And I understand that your entire team is actually made up of voluntary people who volunteer, right? They are not every single course is from you guys, and you have people from all walks of life, from MCs like me to Wayne to Audrey also, yeah. So then this actually captured the attention of Channel 5 Red Dot, and they actually did up a documentary film about you. So check out the video over here and check it out on Channel 5 Red Dot. It's all about Melodee Tan's online adoption drive. Let's go.
Okay.
But just as things seem hopeless, help arrived. Fellow volunteer Melodee Tan from Hope for Animals put together an idea for an online adoption drive.
Hello everybody and welcome to our program Project Adopt Live, Love in the Time of Corona.
At that point in time, we are a little skeptical because we always believe in the touch moment where the adopter actually physically interacts with the dog. Anyway, it was held at the shelter and it was a comfort zone for the dogs. So we took that as a blessing in disguise.
And this, I believe, is a very, very cute, lovable female dog. Her name is Primrose.
Sometimes when we take these dogs out to events, the music spooked them. So what actually was featured on the live stream was a very accurate portrayal of how they actually behave.
Dash, paw. Oh, you did it! Take that.
It's such a sweetheart.
To their surprise, over 24,000 people tuned in to the live stream. They found a family for one of the 5 dogs and gained new supporters.
People who couldn't adopt actually went over to our website and started sponsoring the dogs.
Audience there, smile.
Lots and lots and
So it created a bit of exposure for the older residents that have been here quite a bit of time.
Look at his doggy eyes.
oh.
There you are, and it's so successful until you guys hit close to what the video said earlier on. Is that it hits like 24,000 view, but in fact, just as of what I checked this afternoon, it was more than 25,000 view. Yeah, so that was so fantastic, and I have a great time working with Melodee and her team, and of course, all the puppies and all the dogs they are such a sweetheart. Do you see my heart going out to them? I was like, look at the puppy eyes.
It was quite surprising, honestly. We didn't expect such a amount of watchers, and as we go on, it kind of like continues, and it was an amazing thing. And when you get to actually go down there and play with the pets, is when you actually go like, okay, I'm going to take this pet home already.
Yeah, and it's quite successful, right? Out of the 5 dogs that we actually introduced that day, one was being adopted, right?
Yes, one adopted, and I believe I haven't checked in with them, but I do know that a few of them, although they got the inquiries, right? What happened is that because of the number of inquiries came in, we also managed to push some of the inquiries to the other dogs that weren't even on the episode.
Okay.
So it doesn't just restrict us from just pushing that 5 dogs up for adoption, because the thing is that what we are doing is to create awareness. Project Adopt Life is to create a platform for adoption drive to help with the shelters. But what we also realized is that it became a more of an awareness thing, whereby people realize that, hey, you do have other pets, right? So maybe we can go and look at the other pets, and then can go on from there. So you kind of like not just save 5, or you not say just only showcase 5. You are actually promoting opportunities for the other pets as well.
Exactly. I totally agree. Yeah. And you'll be having more online adoption drives. I mean, right after the July rest, right? Will you be doing on-site soon, or do you think that you'll still be doing online in August?
We hope to do on-site, but we have to see the situation, because the thing is that we foresee that it won't be a confirmed clear thing that we can go ahead on site. We won't know of the situation, because you see certain countries, when the amount of confirmed cases were low,
Correct.
it suddenly
Yes.
spiked up, because they kind of like, okay, guys, you can go out. So we are keeping our plans smaller, and we'll see how it goes, because we need to. This type of thing we can't plan ahead in advance. We can plan maybe like, okay, plan A, B, C, D, E. Depending on the situation, we see which plan to activate.
Correct. That is so good. That's why you see, Melody, you should be the one in fact, you're the one leading the team. And I feel that, you're very well organized. And because of your kind heart, that's why you're doing so much for the strays. Really, kudos to you, Melody. I must say you are awesome. You're really fantastic.
I'm not very sure how to respond to compliments, but someone recently just told me to just say thank you and smile.
Yeah, most of my guests are very humble. But anyway, throw back to times before the COVID-19 situation, whereby everybody had to do everything indoors, right?
Yes.
I think that you guys have a lot of outdoor events too, which is probably brought to you by Hope for Animals. Like, for example, this picture over here, let's check it out. This is all about Christmas. And you want to tell us a little bit more? What is this? What is this all about? What is happening over here?
Okay, so this was a really fun thing. This was just last Christmas. It was really just last Christmas.
Ah,
We actually did this very fun activation where we tell people like, hey, let's walk Orchard Road and see the
mm.
Christmas lights with your pets. And this was the
Oh,
very,
so
very first
cute.
photo before the light went down. And that's why
Uh-huh.
we actually had more dogs that joined us after this week. I think we had over 30 dogs and we even had one bunny. And you see
Mm-hmm.
the Santa and the elf also was a volunteer. They were also volunteers. They volunteered previously and they were like, I was just saying that, hey, I think it would be cute if we have a Santa and an elf.
And an elf. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and then after that, we had these two friends like, okay, we'll do it. I was like, really? You would? I was like, okay, let's go for it. So, yeah, the Santa and the elf went down with us to Orchard Road. We had over 30 dogs. We started with like, I think only about 12 dogs. And then after that,
Mm-hmm.
slowly more came. And then it just went on. And then we reached from, where's this place? From Cine Leisure. We walked all the way down to near to Ion, that area. And then we walked back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
every step we kind of take some photos, let them see what is going on. It was really cute actually because a
And
lot of
and
people
you're
were like
saying, yeah, you're saying that you have a bunny also. How do you walk the bunny?
in a pram. Like I'm
Oh my God,
serious.
really? That's
Yeah,
so
I'm serious.
cute.
The pets have a way better life than we humans because why? They
Uh-huh.
get pushed around by the owners.
Oh, okay. So the bunny was inside a pram, and then you
Yeah.
guys push the bunny down the road and walk along Orchard Road together with the Christmas lights, right? Wow, that's so awesome. How about this one over here? I believe that Mr. Cheong Tak is also one of the supporters for all your events for Hope for Animals. What is this
Yeah.
about?
So about 3-4 years ago, we decided. I was like, I felt that we weren't doing enough from Hope for Animals,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just telling my best friend who is inside that photo. I
Mm-hmm.
was telling her that I really want to do something big, and she was like, okay, let's do it together. And then after that, it scared me a little bit because the thing was getting bigger. And then my brother said this to me. He was like, go big or go home. It is a simple thing that we hear all
Okay.
the time, right? Like this statement has
Uh-huh.
been said in movies, said to you by your friends, but honestly, when it's said at the right time, it really hits you with the meaning of it. So yeah, together with her, we actually brought about different friends. In honestly, in that photo, I have a cousin in there that is in the banking industry.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I have a friend in there who does engineering, another friend that does
Wow.
marketing, another one that does account manager, and then we also have one of them happened to be my ex-client as well. Like
Mm.
when I was in an agency, this lady used to work in the client that I was servicing. So
Mm.
it was a real of mixture of people because some of it was not my direct friend, some was someone else's friend. So we kind of come together and say, okay, let's just do this, let's just try for it. We know that we are reaching for the sky, but let's just go. We have nothing to sell, but let's just go, just what have we got to lose? So we meet up almost every week. And then at that point of time, I was staying at my sister's home, which was at Toa Payoh
Mm-hmm.
for a short while. And we're like saying that, maybe we should reach out to Mr. Chi. Because at that point of
Mm-hmm.
time, I
Okay.
was staying at Toa Payoh. So we reached out to him. And he actually, we went out to meet him and we told him of our plan and why we are doing this, because we want to build a community of people, residents to, help one another, the kind of help that I managed to get. I'm hoping that everyone actually managed to get it. So this photo was actually taken at our very first event that was supported by him. And Mr. Chi, from that day onwards, right, he never failed to work with us every single year.
Nice.
He's really an amazing guy. He's been super supportive. He's never failed to like try to help us in any way. When certain things were at a difficult point, he was like, okay, let me settle this for you. And then after that, a couple of days later, he's like, it's settled. It's like he's, you know, it really shows that he want to help and that he continued to help. Even though I'm no longer a Toa Payoh resident, he still continued to help. That did not stop him from helping me. And that tells me a lot about the man that he is. And yeah, that's why he's really one of the most amazing person I've also met.
Suddenly, it feel like you're doing a GE rally for Mr. Chi Hong Tak.
No lah. I would say that it's not a GE rally, it's more of a character testament, because if a person can confirm and tell me that, you know, I will always support you, and he walks what he says, to me that is more of a character testament. It doesn't matter whether, you know, whether is it a GE thing or whatever, because to me that is secondary. It's more of his character itself. He's an awesome guy. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And you know, you guys are so blessed for your first event, right? You guys actually also have Kuma as your host and your MC for the event. Let's take a look at the photo over here. There you are, Kuma. Did he, like, you know, did you reach out to him, or did Kuma reach out to you guys?
So when I was with my group, I was like, I was just saying that, you know, is there any way that we can make this bigger? And then we're talking about a few people we can reach out to, and then I don't know why Kuma just came to my head. I'm a big fan of him, by the way, because I do enjoy his jokes and everything. So I just reached out. I was like, really, you got nothing to lose. I mean, asking something doesn't necessarily, you know, a rejection doesn't mean that you lose something. So I just drop him a text on Facebook, and yeah, he responded, and we met up, and then after that, I found out that he himself have a dog. So
he did reply your private message when you I mean, you texted him via Facebook, right?
Yeah, via Facebook, and it went on from there. And he's a really, really nice guy. As much as we always see him on the screen, he's actually a very down to earth man. And he is a very sweet person. So when I got to talk to him, I shared with him what's going on. He did share with me that he actually supports the animal industry because he grew up beside SPCA. He loves animals, and you know, it kind of like went from there. And he was very extremely supportive, and yeah, that's how we gotten to know each other and work together.
So you see, blessed is really the word. You guys are really very blessed because you guys are doing something that's very good, and you know, it's all in an act of kindness for all the strays and for the community out there. And I understand that, you know, you guys did a Nee Soon event that you have raised almost close to $7,000 for the shelters, right? Am I right to say that? This is the one whereby we also have a VIP over there. Maybe you want to share with us a little bit more about this event?
I think got 3 VIPs.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, Henry, Mr. Henry Craig, Mr. Chamagan, and Mr. Louis Ng. So, so what happens is that after our Toa Payoh event, we decided to work together for this particular one. And because the one thing that we did very different is that for a lot of our events, we try to incorporate a little bit of fundraising. And how we incorporate fundraising is we realized that instead of giving out free goodie bags, why not we ask people to donate a small sum? You know, just don't contribute any sum that you want, and you get this goodie bag. And these funds that you have kindly contributed will go directly to the shelters. So this was one of the key pointers that we told Nee Soon that we really want to bring in. And the people there were very, very accommodative. They were saying that, hey, you know, this is a great idea, let's just do it. And actually, if you see in that photo, there's 2 guys that's wearing white caps. They were also the MCs. They are already quite well known in the industry, but it got even more hyped up because we gotten them to do a majority of our pet events because we realized that they have a bond with animals. So yeah, so we got them in for this event as well, and it was a really, really successful event because we realized that there were many dogs, cats, there were bunnies, there were also birds inside, and I think
Ah,
if I recall correctly, we had the Chow Chow group in Singapore come down. So Chow Chow is the fluffy dog that looks like a bear.
mm,
So
mm, mm.
we had, I think, 6 or 5 of them coming together in one time, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" So this kind of situation is really cute, and we got the residents involved in contests and games. We even held workshops, so it really reaches out to the residents, not as just a simple event where you come down and go around. It's an event that brings the community together because there's events, there's contests, there's games, and then when you adopt from this event, there are also shopping vendors that you can. Oh, okay. So I went to this event. I adopted the dog. I remember I saw a treat vendor, and then that's
Mm,
how
mm.
everything come into play. And when you create also like groups on Facebook, it becomes a supporting community, a very, very supportive community. Yeah.
But can I ask that you said that every single dollar or cents of donation goes straight to the shelter, right? What about the cost of setting up the entire event? I'm sure from staging to backdrop. I mean, who's the one that come up with this cost?
It isn't us, I can tell you that. Okay, so when we work together with certain GRCs, they support us by coming out the cost for that, because at the end
Mm,
of the day, this is an event that is for their residents. So
mm,
for some, it depends on who we are working with and how big a scale the event and the objective of the event. Like certain GRCs we work with, some of them they focus more on adoption, some of them focus more
mm,
on bringing the community together. So it
mm.
depends on the objective, the scale of the event, the size, and who we are working with, and then we will, try to see what is the cost. But at the end of the day, my Hope for Animals and myself believe that certain things we do not need to spend on, don't spend on. Aesthetically looking nice is not something that is very important to us.
Mm,
I think at
mm.
the end of the day, as long as it's an event that is very to the ground, even a kampong style event will attract people down, because why? It is a very interesting thing to see a pets event. How often do you actually see that in Singapore?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. With so many dogs and cats and even parrots, and Chow Chow
exactly.
running around. That is so sweet. And I know that, Melody, not only that you all work with GRC, CCs, community clubs, you guys also work with companies like Japan IPL, and also you reach out to the automotive industry also. This is one of the one whereby, you reach out to automotive group, and also the Japan IPL. What was this Japan IPL all about?
Okay, so obviously Japan IPL is something that has nothing to do with animals, right? But
Mm,
that doesn't stop them from helping and doing charity. So
mm.
it was a mutual friend that set us up. Japan IPL wanted to do a little bit of wanted to spend a little bit of their charity to help the animals, and this was the first time that they wanted to do it. So they actually came up with this idea where let's
Mm.
push out adoption. Let's push out the awareness on adoption to people, and they also thought of doing let's do a fundraising for every like and every share. They will also
Uh-huh.
donate $1 to the shelters. So what happened
Uh-huh.
here is that we contacted using the groups on Facebook as well as the shelter that we are working with. We got a couple of dog owners as well as dogs are for adoption to come down to
Mm.
Raffles Place during the peak hour. I think during lunch hour, we were there for I think about 2.5 to 3 hours, and we just go around like, hey, like, do you want to pet the dog? Do you know that actually the dog is adopted? Da, 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 da. And then we want
Ah,
to spread the awareness. And then after that, we tell people like, why not you take a photo with the dog? Just post it up online and then just hashtag and then just share, because every share and every like were
they get a
Japan
donation.
IPL will donate $1. So Japan
Ah,
IPL was extremely supportive because they even went to the extent of getting I think talents or influencers to actually
uh-huh.
come down to
Uh-huh.
help push out. And yeah, overall they were extremely supportive because they start pushing out on digital marketing side. We were pushing out on the pet industry side and etc. So with all this out, it was really an amazing 2.5 hours. And I think in total we raised $7,000 for the animal welfare
Wow.
group together.
Okay. Okay. And what about the automotive group? Did you like go on a
Yeah.
spin or a drive with the dog, looking out the window? What
Okay,
about this one? What did y'all do? Or is it a car wash thing?
so this was quite a fun thing. This was the first automotive group that we actually reached out to,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Land Rovers group. So what happened is
Ah.
that there is a car club. So again, like dogs, there is different dog groups. There's also different car groups, and Land Rovers Club, which
Mm,
I remember is LROS.
mm,
They have a lot of meetups, and we were like, okay, we we want to do more. And with our that was actually before our first event with Mr. Chi. That was during the period that we were leading up to it. At that
mm,
point of time, my boss drives a Land Rover, so he linked me up with them, and we reached out to them to ask their support, and we asked for any kind of support initially. And
mm-hmm,
the first thing that we asked to support was maybe if they're open, can they drive the dogs from the shelters to the event so that the shelters
mm-hmm.
save on transportation fee? Is that possible? Because your car being so huge, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did. They had, I think, about
Wow.
7 of the riders actually doing it. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, they actually arranged it themselves to contact the shelters, and they picked up the dogs and brought them down to the event. So that was the very first
Nice.
support that they gave. The second support
Mm.
that they gave was during our car wash. They actually came down as a one whole group to bring their cars down, and our volunteers wash their car and they pay a certain amount and it will be donated to the shelters as well. So that continued on. That honestly didn't stop. They are one of the. I think the people in there are just awesome, because there was another volunteer. There was one of the members that decided to sponsor the T-shirts
Uh-huh.
for the event as well. So
Oh,
yeah, it really brings a really different type of community down, and we understand that some of them actually have adopted pets as well because of
I
the
see.
event. And I
Okay.
coincidentally, one of my previous event that I arranged, one of the guy actually did come down and actually did adopt from the event that we planned. So
On the
it
day
was
itself, during the event.
actually 2 years later.
Ah.
So it's not necessarily like it has to have an effect there and then, but that them coming down to your event because they remember you and they decide to
Mm,
adopt because they remember the collaboration. This
mm.
sort of thing stays with a person. And for them to actually come down after so many years and still adopt, it tells you that whatever you're doing is actually working.
Exactly.
You left an impression on someone to actually do it. Yeah.
Correct, correct. And Melody, I understand that you'll go to a lot of events to like for example all this car wash event with Land Rover and even with Japan IPL, every like, every share, they will actually donate certain amount of money. But
Yeah.
other than getting fundraising through outdoor events and online events, how else do you raise funds for Hope for Animals?
Okay. So I just wanted to clarify. We don't raise funds for ourselves. We usually
Mm,
always raise funds for the shelters. So some
mm,
of the ways that we do is in collaboration with people. So one of the very, very first item that we did was
mm,
we actually I believe that was the year of the dog. We decided
mm-hmm.
to get together a couple of designers and we designed dog ampaus. And
Oh, that's
and
cool.
yeah, so I actually have some, like, three of it here. So
Okay.
we designed something
Oh.
like this. So
Mm-hmm.
like the ear pops up when you close it, kind of thing. And
Okay.
then we also have stuff like this.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so
so cute.
these were some of the things that we did for fundraising, and we donate we actually just cover our costs and donate the rest to the shelters. And
Mm.
we collaborated with designers, and we tell the designers that, hey, we are not going to leave you guys hanging. We know that you guys are doing a great cause, and we want
Mm.
to also help you with something. So let me just help you guys out by actually putting your logo at the back. And
Okay.
one of the amazing things is that when this sort of situation happen, it brings about companies that actually support.
Oh, yes, yes. There you
Yeah,
are. I can see brands over there.
yes. So like brands actually bought quite a lot of his particular designs, and they gave away during the Chinese New Year promotional period as well. So yeah, it's situations like this that is why we actually work together with the communities. And this was one of the other things. Then one of the latest things that we started doing is bug ornaments, which is I don't have a product of that with me here, so yeah, just we need a
Picture.
photo. Okay, so
Yes.
what happened is that we reached out to the arts and media industry, people that draw and paint and doodle and calligraphers. So we told them that, hey, we can bring all these bug ornaments in. Is anyone keen to show their magic, their awesome works, and then sell it, and then a big amount goes to the shelter. So these bug ornaments were designed, drawn by different artists, and is customizable to look like the pet photo that you have sent in, or it's just customizable for you if you have a specific breed that you want to be painted. So we did this, and right now, because of the situation, we have only one standard pricing, and out of this one bug ornament that you have customized, uniquely customized and drawn for $45, more than 50% is being donated to the shelters. 10%, $10 is given to the artists themselves for all their hard work, their materials used, their time, and then the remaining actually goes to cover the costs such as the bug ornament itself, the courier fees, and even the packaging itself. So yeah, we are doing this to fundraise right now, and we are hoping that we actually bought about 2,000 of these bug ornaments. We did not count the bug ornaments because there's too many to count. So we don't know how many is left, but we know that we need to sell more. Yeah.
I see. And it's written over here by talented artists from HFA. What is HFA?
Okay, so Hope for Animals, right? We have different groups. So
Oh,
like for
HFA is Hope for Animals. Okay, I thought the
yeah.
artist is from HFA.
Oh no. So basically what happens is that there is different Hope for Animals, we create different groups. So like earlier on I mentioned, when we started this campaign, there is the PAL, Project Adopt Life, and we have our group, right? So similarly, when it came to the bug ornaments, we have a artist Hope for Animals group. So all the artists inside there are all traditional. They do painting, drawing, calligraphy, doodles, and everything. So they are in one group. And then we have another group that we reach out to is all the automotive clubs, and we just tell them that, hey, we got a fundraising car wash, like you guys are you guys free to come. So we like to create all this because it brings different communities together for the main cause to help animals.
Yes, and everybody have different kind of talents. That's why they're using the different kind of talents and skills to come in order to help the animals. Now, if any of the viewers would like to purchase this bug ornaments, right? Are they able to do so via your Facebook page?
Yes,
To order?
correct. They can just go to Hope for Animals. There's actually a post down there where they can just order. There's actually a link for them to order. Alternatively, people can actually just PM us and we can explain the steps to them.
So there you are. You can see right below over there, right now. Do your part, okay? Do support Hope for Animals, support all the strays out there. All you need to do is to log on to Facebook. The Facebook handle is just right below over here at Hope for Animals SG, okay? So purchase some of the bug ornaments, and like what Melodee have said earlier on, $10 goes to the artist. Almost more than 50% of the amount that you have purchased will be going straight to the shelters, thereby will be helping out all the strays out there, right?
Yes.
Yes, all right, okay. Thank you so much, Melodee. It's been a very wonderful 1 hour that I have you on my show. And of course, before we go, do you have anything that you'd love to say to all our viewers out there?
I'm very bad with last words, so just wanted to say that part because every time when people are like, do you have any last word? I'm like, I don't know
No last
what
word.
is the
I'll come
parting
on
words.
again.
Yeah, because there's so many things that we can say, we can talk about, but what are the parting words? I'll be like, okay, you know what, guys, let's just stay safe, and then just practice kindness and empathy. I think that is the main two things that we need right now in our current situation.
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree with Melody. Empathy, kindness, compassion also. This
Yes,
is what we need at this point of time, especially when, the virus situation is really ill.
yes,
Right?
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, and of course, to all my viewers out there, thank you very much for joining me. Do stay safe and stay healthy. Once again, I would like to thank Melody. Thank you very much. It's really a great honor for me to have you on Prime Time with Sylvia, the interview series. All right,
Thank
and
you.
you too, stay safe and stay healthy, and continue helping all the strays. Okay, and I'm here to support you too.
I'm so glad to have you on board.
Definitely, me and Wayne, we're always there for you.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you very much,
thank
everybody. And
you.
our next episode will be on July the 4th at 8:30 p.m. on the same platform, Primetime with Sylvia on Facebook and YouTube. Once again, me and Melody, we're signing out. Good night and have sweet dreams. Thank you.